Thank you, Rebecca. I just want to clarify something. I know Dr. Oz, and he actually recommended me as a doctor, but I have not yet been on his show, although I've been approached. I have studied with Dr. Deepak Chopra and Dr. Andrew Weil. So, first of all, I want to thank you all for being here today. And I want to ask you all a question. How many people have stress almost every day of their lives? Pretty amazing. And how many of you who have stress almost every day of your lives have tools and techniques to deal with the stress? That's really impressive. What are some examples of what you do?
I do some neuro-linguistic programming in which I imagine the stress as some kind of an internal structure, and then I reduce it or change the rotation of it or some kind of internal visualization.
Oh, great. Anybody else?
Meditation, yoga.
And do these things help you?
Oh, absolutely. I believe in them.
Great. I'm so happy that I probably should go home and leave right now then. So, my name, as you heard, is Dr. Jill Barron. I'm a board-certified family physician, and I do integrative medicine and also weight loss in Manhattan, New York City. I also have an interest in stress management because stress has really been an issue for me my whole life, whether it's genetics or just environment. And also I've seen that professionally as well in terms of my patients and in the world. I mean, stress, as you know, is really epidemic and during these times, and we really need tools and techniques to really deal with stress. And the topic of my presentation today is dealing with stress in children and adults. What I want to say is that, kind of a broad brush stroke, is that the real thing to take away today is that we really need to develop resilience. Have you all heard of that word, resilience? And resilience and reserve. So I want you to keep that theme in the back of your mind, because that's what we really need to do to really deal with stress and not get ill. Now, in terms of dealing with stress in children, I mean, how many of you think about children having stress? Do people think about that? Yeah, but it's interesting. I mean, it doesn't come to my mind right away, but in these times, it seems that there are more and more children under stress. I mean, stress to perform, stress to get into a great school. I mean, I see my nephews and my niece, you know, their parents are taking them to soccer and to violin and to piano, and kids are just so scheduled these days. It really is stressful to be a kid. So, in dealing with stress in children, it's really important for parents and caregivers and teachers and anybody who deals with children to be aware that children do have stress. And it may not be the symptoms or the signs, may not be the typical signs that we see in adults. However, children may start changing their behavior. They may start having outbursts of anger. They may be crying. They may stop eating. These are all signs that children can be having stress. And what are the causes of this? Besides, we mentioned about performance. There's also in terms of trying to do well in school. Many families are breaking up. There's divorce. There's loss of a parent. So again, all these things can contribute to children having stress. So, how do we deal with children who have stress? Well, there are two important words to remember: empathy and understanding. It's really important to have empathy and understanding when dealing with children. And we shouldn't yell at them if they're sucking their thumbs. We should really just have empathy and understanding. And in terms of dealing with stress, the American Psychological Association says that there are some key things that you should think about when dealing with children and stress. The first thing is to be available. So if children, the best times may be to talk to children when they're going to bed at night. Find out when they're available and try and connect with children when they're stressed out, to try and find out more about their stress. It's also important, the second thing is to listen actively. Children need to know that you're paying attention to them. So it's important to really be with children and to listen actively to them. The third thing is to respond thoughtfully. So really pay attention to what your children are saying and listen to them, as I mentioned, and then respond appropriately. The fourth thing is to be a model. In other words, children really model how their parents and their teachers and their adults behave. So if they see you having a temper tantrum and not dealing well with stress, they are more apt to model that. So it's really important that you be a model for your children so that they in turn can model good behavior. And lastly, if children are really having a hard time and not doing well, it's important to seek help from a licensed mental health professional. And that's really, really important. Now, I know I have about 15 minutes today to talk to you about dealing with stress in children and adults. So I'm now going to move on to adults, since I guess all of us here are probably adults. Although we probably never all grow up, right? That's what makes life great. So what I want you to do is I want you to all stand up. Good. I know you've probably been sitting for a while. And what I want to do is I want to give you a technique that you can just do right in your office or right at home. You probably all know this technique, and it doesn't hurt to always hear things more than one time. So right now, what I'd like you to do is put down your pens, relax your arms. What I'd like you to do is just very, very gently, and I will preface this by saying that if you have any physical or structural issues, don't strain, okay? I want you to take your right hand and raise your right hand and very, very gently just reach. And then take your left hand and reach. And while you're doing that, just nice and slow, just breathe. And don't worry about whether you're breathing through your nose or breathing through your mouth. Just breathe and stretch. Just gentle stretch. Good. Very nice. Good. Last one. Okay. Now, just shake your hands a little bit. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like to do some shoulder rolls. So what I want you to do is just, we're going to go back. So bring your shoulders up and back. Good. And again, up and back. Nice and slow. Feel the muscles. Feel your shoulders. Be present and breathe if you can. Just breathe nice and easy. Good. Good. This is wonderful for you. You're going to feel great when you leave this talk. Okay, now let's go and do the other way. Forward. And you can breathe nice and slow, in and out. Just really relax. The people who are going to be watching this video may be having a little bit of out-of-body experience because the camera's going like this. And go
They'll
like
get
this.
over it.
They'll get over it. Okay, good. And shake your hands a little bit. And lastly, just take a deep breath in and then out. Again, slowly in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And just stand there for a second. And how do you feel? You can open your eyes now. Do you feel a little bit more relaxed than when you came in when you were just sitting?
Yes.
We'll do one more little thing, all right? Put your hands out in front and just do this. Just kind of do your hands like this. First you can go on the outside. Yeah, and smile. Good. Smiling makes me feel good because I'm looking at you. And then go the other way. Good. Good. Now shake your hands out. Give yourself a hand. And please sit down. There's a few responses from the audience. Do you feel a little bit brighter, more relaxed? Anybody?
Yes, definitely.
Great.
Right.
Thank you, Bruce. He's a plant. I planted him there. Right. But I
More light in the room.
more light in the room. Yes, that's from Dr. Jim Oshman here, who writes about energy work. And I was looking at you in the blue shirt. For some reason, you look brighter to me.
I feel better.
You feel better.
I was stretching something.
Yes, your eyes look brighter. Seriously. So what we just did was we increased some blood flow to the brain and the muscles, and we also increased some oxygen, and we relaxed a bit more. Okay. So now what I want to do is, someone's phone's going off, but it's okay. We'll just dance a little bit. So the next thing I want to do is I want to give you some tools. It's an acronym, all right, for for dealing with stress. Now, it's important to differentiate that when you want to build resilience, you want to have some practices that will help you build resilience and strength and reserve. So that's like a framework and a foundation for helping you deal and buffer the stressors of life. And who can remember, now I'm dating myself maybe, but who can remember that there was this blow-up doll, like a clown with a face on it, it was weighted at the bottom? Okay, there's some people who are a little bit older than I am, right? Mm-hmm. And when you hit that clown, right, the thing would kind of go down. Can I move away from the mic? Or no?
Oh, yeah.
It would go down, then it would come up quickly, right? You'd hit it, it would come down and come back up. And if you think about resilience and dealing with stress, if you get knocked off your center from out of the blue, let's say a loved one dies or you lose your job, that's a pretty significant hit to someone, correct? So for people who have strong resilience, it's not pleasant for anybody, by the way, to have these things happen. They might, if they were pushed off their center like the clown, they might come back quicker to their center. But for someone who really has had no training in stress management or no tools, and they're knocked off their center, they may stay down for a while. And it may take a long time to get back to the center. So what I'm going to give you right now is a little acronym I just created. And it's very appropriate because in New York we're going to be having a big thunderstorm, a snowstorm. It's called My Sled. My Sled. So what does that stand for? So M stands for meditation, and also for music, and also for management, specifically time management and regulation. Now, what I want to say also is I don't want to make you all stressed out to think that you have to do everything, my sled, all at once. But even one thing might just help you. Just meditating a few minutes a day might strengthen your resilience. But if you can do all of these things, that's wonderful. But do not feel that you have to do everything I'm going to talk about all at once. That will stress you out even more. So M again is meditation. We all know that meditation makes a huge difference in how we feel. It increases focus and concentration. There are many different types of meditation. I have had a transcendental TM practice. Anybody know about TM? Good. There are still some people here who know about TM. It's having a comeback, transcendental meditation, but there are many types of meditation. There are walking meditation, all different types. Then music. How many of you have turned on the radio and heard Earth, Wind, and Fire, get in the groove, whatever, 3 minutes, and you just feel like your whole physiology changes. So that's really amazing. I'm going to sled down the hill with my sled because I have 3 minutes to go. So M is music, meditation, and management, time management. Why? Yoga. You'll know that yoga comes from the word yoke. Yoke of bringing together the mind, the body, and the breath. And that is really important for using the body and to breathe and to be calm. Then S, sleep. I was going to say sex too, but I said it. Sex, sleep, and sex, they all both can't hurt, right? But getting adequate sleep is really important, especially before midnight. For women, you need an average of about 7 to 8 hours a night. And men, ideally, minimally 6 hours. Again, there's the term of biochemical individuality. We're all different, but on a generality, those are good ranges. And then L stands for love and laughter. Love and connection is so important. When I'm with my nephews and my niece, I am so present that any anxiety I've had is gone because I'm so present. Love. And laughter. We all know that laughter is so good. It increases endorphins. So does E, which is exercise. We know that exercise increases blood flow to your body, to your brain, to your muscles. I know I feel so delicious after my workout. I don't always feel so delicious during my workout, but when I'm done, I feel great. So exercise increases endorphins, increases oxygen, increases blood flow. And then E, I said E, then D is diet. It's important to have a good diet, So we want to reduce sugar because sugar increases inflammation in the body. And we also want to have some things like a lot of plant-based diet. So, and 3 supplements that you probably know about that can help you are omega-3, and again, you should always speak to your health professional before taking my advice, but omega-3 fish oil, vitamin D, and B12. These are all important things. You can get vitamin D, 25-hydroxy vitamin D, your blood level drawn with your doctor, as well as B12. B12 is so important for mood, and it helps anxiety and that kind of thing. So I want to leave you, I know that I have about a minute left. I was going to do one more exercise, we don't have time, but I am going to do one more thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted, you want me to pass these around?
Yeah, as part of my practice, I also do weight loss, and I have a program that I do, and we'll pass out some treats here so you can have some diet. They're actually nutritious.
Take it with your hand.
And these are, if you go into the exhibit hall, you'll see what I'm doing. And lastly, what I'd like you to do, I want to leave you with one thing, and this is one of the reasons why I came down here to speak. I want you all to close your eyes, please. And I want to leave you with this, because this is what I'm passionate about. Imagine a world, close your eyes, imagine a world where we teach children, beginning in nursery school, and their parents, about how to do yoga, how to meditate, how to eat right, how to do conflict resolution. Imagine a world where these children are learning about this, and this curriculum is taught up until high school to both students and parents. Imagine a world where all these people have the tools to work with each other, work with other people, connect with other people, resolve conflict because they've been trained in having the tools. Can you imagine a world where there's touch and love and connection? This is what we need in the world. We need to teach people these lifestyle practices that will really make a huge difference and have a huge positive ripple effect in the world if we can teach our society to embrace this kind of curriculum in the world. So I want to thank you so much for your time. I wish I had more time to speak. Really, thank you, and thank you, Judy and Bruce McBarnett, for inviting me to speak at this Wellness Expo here in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. Thank you so much.